Health and fitness requires more than just the physical work. It starts with the work you put in to grow your mind. Welcome to the Mind Gains Podcast, where we discuss what it takes mentally to see results physically. I'm your host, Jess. Let's get started. Something that not a lot of people recognize is just how powerful the language that they use is. Whether they use positive or negative language makes all the difference in the world. Whether they tell themselves they can or cannot do something dictates whether they do or do not do that thing. And I didn't believe this for the longest time. I didn't think that your mindset or your language would have any impact whatsoever on the outcome of anything. I just couldn't grasp the concept that the words that I used around a situation could possibly have any effect on what the result was. I didn't believe I had that kind of power. But what I failed to realize for years is that your mindset, your perspective, and your language dictates your feelings, which dictates the actions that you do or do not take, which then dictates the outcome in your reality. So if you tell yourself repeatedly that you're not sure if you can lose the weight, you don't think that you can practice and build up the self-discipline required in order to be successful, what feelings do you think that's going to produce? Do you think that kind of language builds up your confidence in yourself? Do you think that those thought processes are geared towards success? Absolutely not. If you tell yourself you're not in control of your actions because you feel out of control sometimes, and you tell yourself you don't think you're capable of success, you are feeding into negative emotions. And when you have negative emotions and you don't believe in yourself, do you think that you're going to take action? The answer is probably not. Because you're feeling run down and defeated and insecure in yourself. So no, you're probably not going to take action towards your goals for that day. And if you're not taking actions towards your goals, are you ever going to reach them? No, absolutely not. The way that you speak to yourself and the thoughts you allow into your head and decide to feed into dictates your outcome. Because this is a choice. You can't help the thoughts that pop into your head, but you 100% are in control of the thoughts that you allow to reside there. We're all going to have times that our mind will try to tell us to quit because we're not capable of succeeding, or we'll all have times that we feel discouraged because progress feels slow and we're not sure if we can hold out long enough to see the payoff from all of our hard work. But you are responsible for ensuring that you watch your mindsets and the thoughts that you allow to take root. Wherever your mindset is, that's going to dictate your outcome. You know that saying that we all heard probably over and over growing up, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Your new lesson you might need to learn is show me your mindset and I'll show you your outcome. If you have the mindset of a victim, always feeling sorry for yourself because you've had it so much harder than anyone else has. You're so much busier than everyone else. You don't have as many opportunities as your friends, or you don't have the genetics that the fitness influencers that you follow do. If you are too busy feeling sorry for yourself and blaming everyone else because you're not where you want to be and life is just so unfair, you better get nice and comfy cozy because you're going to be stuck right where you are. But if you stop feeling bad for yourself, stop making yourself a victim, change your mindset, change your language, and start taking action, you are going to reap the benefits of your work. Maybe not tomorrow or maybe not next week. It might take a while, but one day you're going to make it. Stop talking about how unsure of your capabilities you are and start speaking life into yourself that you are capable, you are smart and strong and resilient and disciplined and determined. And when you start speaking that way over yourself, over time, this creates feelings of confidence in yourself. Stop talking about how much it sucks to wake up at 5 a.m. and go to the gym, and start talking about how grateful you are that you have the choice and the ability to move your body, take care of yourself, and to change your body and mind for the better. If you are allowing your mouth to spew negativity all the time, do you really think it's going to be possible for you to reach your goals? If your body is trying to do one thing over here, you're trying to go out on a walk to get your steps done for the day because you know it matters, but the entire time you're getting ready for that walk, and when you're on that walk, you're just thinking about how much you hate this and how you're not sure you have it in you to reach your step goal for the day, and does it really matter if I do meet it or not? If that is what's happening, your body and your mind are constantly fighting each other. And you know what? Maybe you do stick it out and you do meet your step goal for that day. But what about the next day? What about all the next week and the next month and the next 6 months? You might be able to push past that constant back and forth for a little while, but eventually you're going to give up because it's exhausting to do that. And I don't care how disciplined you are, at some point it's going to run out if that's the way you're approaching this. You and your body and your mindset, you all have to be BFFs. You cannot be stuck in a mental battle and telling yourself how much you don't want to be doing any of the things that you're doing. Because sooner or later, you're going to quit. So instead of allowing your mind to constantly tell yourself how much you hate going to the gym and getting your steps in and tracking your food, how about instead of that, we all start understanding that we don't get to hate the actions that are required to reach the goals that we have set for ourselves. If you decide that you want to lose weight, no one is making you do it. No one is holding you hostage and forcing you to do this. You have decided that this is what you want. So you don't get to hate going out on that walk or tracking your food or whatever it's going to be. Because those are the things that are required for you to reach your goal of losing weight. You can't hate yourself to it, and you can't despise every step you take along the way. Because if you do, you will not last. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret. When it comes down to it, it's not that you're actually going to love doing any of the things that are required of you on a daily basis. That's probably not going to happen for a while. You're probably going to feel like you don't want to do these things. But the secret is, it does not matter in the slightest what you feel like doing or what your feelings are around any of this. It doesn't matter if you feel like going to the gym or if you feel like eating the foods that are going to allow you to reach your goals. You're not going to feel like you want to do it. You have to choose to change your mindset. That is a requirement. So don't get caught up thinking that just because you don't feel like doing what it takes to take a step towards whatever your goal is for that day, that is what should dictate what your mindset is around this. Hard dose of reality here. It doesn't matter what your feelings are in this scenario. You can feel like you hate doing all of this, and that's totally valid because especially when you first start out, no part of this is easy. But that just means that you have to work hard to change the way you're thinking about all of it. Feelings are a wonderful thing. They help us connect with each other and understand ourselves better, and they help us interact with the world. But they are awful decision makers for our actions. You cannot base your decisions around what you're feeling. That is a really great way to set yourself up for failure. And as difficult as this sounds, you pretty much have to reach a point that you couldn't care one single bit about what you feel like doing. And I say that with a little bit of hesitation because I don't want that to be taken out of context. There is a time and a place to recognize and honor what your emotions are. But health and fitness isn't it. When it comes to doing any of the things that when I say we, I mean all of us collectively who are on this journey, when it comes to doing any of the things that we do on a daily basis, you have to not give one single rip about how you feel. And that's not easy to do. And the truth is that most people will never get there because they value short-term satisfaction over long-term success. But if you're here listening to this and you're serious about doing whatever it takes to finally win, you have to start practicing not caring how you feel. It'll take time, and it'll take lots of practice, and honestly, lots of failure too. But keep doing it. And I promise that one day you won't have to try so hard anymore. You will just be on autopilot, and you won't have to give a second thought to whether or not you actually want to go to the gym or eat well that day. You're just going to do it because it's what you do. And that's called discipline. So don't base your decisions here around your feelings. They're fleeting and they can change at the drop of the hat. And what most people actually don't realize about feelings is that you can potentially indirectly change your feelings. We can't directly change them, but there are things that we can do that are in our power to indirectly help move past them if we want to. If you're feeling really down about your progress and you feel disappointed and discouraged because you're in a little bit of a rut with your results, you can't just magically change what emotions you're experiencing and feel happy and not feel disappointed at all. That obviously won't work. We can't will ourselves out of feeling a certain type of way. But you know what is in your control? Your mindset and your behaviors or your actions. If you're feeling that you're in that rut and you feel upset about it, you might be spiraling a little bit and giving into thoughts that this is pointless and you're never going to make it and you haven't made any progress at all. And if you're feeling that way, you might also be dissociating and removing yourself from people a little bit because you feel so lost and hopeless and you don't know what to do. But if you change your thought processes and your language to reflect the fact that you have made so much progress and you are so proud of how far you've come so far, and this is so worth it and you will figure this out. And if you change your actions to reaching out to people for support or for help or guidance instead of just sitting alone in all of this, you can potentially indirectly change the emotions you're experiencing. Because when you start thinking about how far you've already come instead of how much you have left to go, you're going to start feeling proud and confident in yourself for what you've been able to accomplish already. And instead of removing yourself from people and just shutting down, reaching out for support and maybe just having a conversation with someone might be enough to give you hope again and continue moving forward. So yes, acknowledge your emotions when they arise and allow yourself to feel them, but don't sit in them for an extended period of time to the point that you're now spiraling and contemplating quitting. There are things that we can do to help this, and it's changing our mindsets and our behaviors and not relying on our feelings to dictate what our actions are for that day. If you're someone who is serious about succeeding and reaching every single goal you've set for yourself, whether it's health and fitness related or not, keep your language and your mindset in check. These are the two most important pieces of all of this. Hello, that's why it's called the Mind Gains Podcast. It's not the workouts or the diet or anything else. It's these two. Because you could be doing every other piece of this right. You could be checking off all of your workouts and daily habits for the week and meeting all of your nutrition targets. But eventually, if these two areas aren't where they need to be, nothing you're doing is going to matter because it won't be sustainable. So start gearing your mind and your language towards success, because I promise if you do that, you're going to start having so many wins, you won't even know what to do with them.